Hi alle sammen, my name is Claus Fransen, and today we'll be talking about the incredible, the amazing, the expensive and total waste of money. It is the Atomos Ninja V. Now, let me get one thing straight. This is an amazing tool and I love to use this on my Canon EOS R, but for most Canon M50 users, this might be a complete waste of money and you might buy it for the wrong reasons. There are some reasons to get it, but there are a ton of reasons not to. The Atomos Ninja V is an external recorder, and the word recorder is going to be important later on in this video. What it offers is amazing tools to help you get the right exposures and even record in higher quality standards video than your camera might be able to internally. That is true for the Canon EOS R. But in today's video, we'll be focusing on the Canon M50 paired with the Atomos Ninja V. And the reason is that I only own these two cameras, so I can only speak for those. But some of these tips or guidelines or answers might actually be applicable for your camera as well. So there are a number of drawbacks when you talk about professional video on the Canon M50. And if you read the box for the Atomos Ninja V, it sounds like it's gonna fix all of them, like 4K 60 RAW, and you got histograms, you got waveform monitors, you got false colors, you got audio monitoring, you got headphone jacks, you got all these amazing things. But the truth is that the Canon M50 is so crippled in some ways that you would be better off spending that money on a new camera. So let's get to it. All right, myth number one. Using the Atomos Ninja V, I can record for more than 30 minutes. Well, up until making this video, I actually thought that to be true, but it is a lie. You cannot record for more than 30 minutes on the Canon M50 combined with the Ninja V, unless you hold down the little square button up here throughout the whole thing, or you make some kind of small tap which would bring up some information on the screen which would be visible on the Atomos Ninja V. So it is not a real solution. So another hack would be to use your phone and connect through the Canon app. And as long as that is connected, you seem to could be able to surpass this 30-minute limit. But you have to keep your phone connected and visible on that screen the whole time, and that is not a solution either. So do not buy the Atomos Ninja V believing you can record for longer than 30 minutes. It is just not a proper solution. You could take that money and buy a Sony A60 something, and you could probably be better off that way. It's about the same price, and you get another camera which doesn't have all these issues and doesn't need the external monitor. So yeah, sorry about the rant. And the problem with using the Canon M50 and exceeding 30 minutes is related to that the screen will shut down to save power after a certain amount of time. You can set that to 15 seconds or you can set it to 30 minutes. You can't disable it. And since you can't disable it, once you reach that set power off setting, the feed going from the HDMI into the Atomos Ninja will go black, and hence you will no longer be recording. So just want to put that straight. You cannot exceed the 30-minute limit just because you get an Atomos Ninja V for the Canon M50 Mark I. Next myth. You can do 4K 60p. No, you can only do 4K 60p on Atomos Ninja V if you have a camera that allows to output that through the HDMI. If your camera can't, which then 50 can't, then you can't, right? So no, You cannot get 4K 60p just because you get an external recorder if your camera can't do 4K 60p externally. That's just how it is. I can record RAW. No. You will again need a camera that can actually do that externally, if not also internally. For example, the A7S III is able to do something like ProRes 12-bit RAW with a Atomos Ninja V and probably also all the models, but you need that camera to be able to do it before the recorder can actually do it. Makes sense, right? All right, next myth. I keep saying Smith. Next myth. With an Atomos Ninja V, you get better video quality. Well, I did some testings, and you can see them right here. And from the beginning, it looks a little bit different, but if only adjust the contrast on the curves a little bit, they are 100% identical. And the reason is that what you are outputting to the Ninja V is the exact same thing that the camera is seeing. There's no improved external recording on the Canon M50. So no, you will not get better quality video. You could argue you get a little bit more dynamic range because it's less contrasty, but once you bring it back to normal contrast, it's the same. Okay? So no, do not buy the Atomos Ninja V or any other external recorder believing you will get better quality on the Canon M50. That's not the case. All right, I also need to mention that the Canon M50 does not have clean HDMI. And in practice, that means that when the camera is sending out a video signal through HDMI, it will not send a clean feed, but instead of a dirty feed. This sounds so wrong, but you will see all these settings and everything you see on the LCD screen, you will see on the external recording. Kind of like, you know, these old family tapes where we see like the battery levels and all this kind of stuff. That will be on the Atomos Ninja V. So you're gonna pay a lot of money. You're gonna be real sad when you realize that you have been having all these settings in the button and you need to crop that away and you ring, yeah, it's not good. The Mark II of the Canon M50 does have a clean HDMI. So a lot of the things I say in this video may not be completely applicable to that camera, but I do not own a Canon M50 Mark II, so I can't say for sure. With the Atomos Ninja V, I can record at 10-bit color depth. Well, yes and no, but mostly no. So I was surprised that when I was recording in ProRes on the Atomos, then the file would be saved as 10-bit. So the file is 10-bit, but the colors are not. Keep in mind that the Canon camera right here, the M50, is sending off 8-bit colors. So let's imagine that 8-bit means 8 shades of green. It's sending off 8 shades of green into the Atomos, which is capable of having 10 shades of green. You're only giving it 8 of the shades. You're not giving it 10, only the 8. So it doesn't matter that the file is 10-bit if you're only feeding it 8-bit. That's basically like making a 10-bit timeline in your editing software and throwing in 2-bit color and saying, well, this is 10-bit. The file is 10-bit, but the colors aren't, all right? So no, I'm sorry. All right, so I think you start to get the picture. And the picture is that it's not really the Atomos that is the limiting factor. It is actually capable of so much more than I'm able to do with it, which is a shame. But if I ever get like a R5, I can use the external recorder and kind of work around this overheating limit. I can get around this H.265 record format and all these issues that I see with the R5, I can solve with the Atomos Ninja V. But you can't solve a lot of the problems with the Canon M50, but there are some very specific reasons to consider spending your money on Atomos 5, and here they are. If you want to have audio monitoring, both as a headset, but also as audio bars while the camera is recording, you can do that on the Atomos instead of doing this whole crazy workaround, which I showed you in the last video. So that is a top one reason to use an external recorder. That would be to be able to monitor your audio better, but you have to feed the audio into the external recorder to do so. So that is a nice feature. If you plan on upgrading to, let's say, a Canon EOS R, like I'm using right now, or any other kind of camera, then it might be worth it. So let's get one thing straight. I actually don't need the Atomos Ninja V that much. I love recording 10-bit on the EOS R. I love having the bigger screen, and having it written on ProRes or DNX files makes my editing way smoother. But the reason I really love having the Atomos is the tools available for exposure. The waveform monitors, the false colors, the focus peaking, the zoom in on, yeah, all of these things. But I could get that from an external monitor. And the difference between an external monitor and external recorder is the recorder can record and the monitor can only monitor. So instead of putting all this money into the Atomos, you might be better off just getting an external recorder. This way you will get the better exposure monitoring for less money. You will still be recording internally, but we've already proven that the M50 do not benefit from external recording, so you might as well just record internally, right? Based on what I saw on Amazon, you can get a 5-inch Feelworld monitor for $129 or an Andycine A6 Pro for $169, which is way less than the $600 you have to pay to get an Atomos Ninja V. So let me recap this video here. If all you want is a bigger monitor to view your composition on, or tools to check your exposure, then external monitor like the Andycine or the Feelworld is gonna be a greater or better option than the Atomos Ninja V. You do not need what this one is offering, and it would be a waste of money. That money can be used on a microphone, on light stands, on something better, something that gives you more quality video. So don't buy the Atomos Ninja V just because a lot of YouTubers are praising it. It is amazing, but if you're having a Canon M50 or some other camera that does not have a clean HDMI out, or can't do a better external recording, then do not get it, all right? If you have a camera like the Canon EOS R or some Sony camera that is able to produce better quality by recording externally, then by all means, if you have the money, get one. It is a great little machine. My name is Carl Fransen, and I hope you learned something, or at least are better suited to make the right decision or the right purchase for your specific needs. And I hope that you do not buy something which you do not need. We need to make sure you get the right tools for the right job, and you maximize your budget in order to get the best quality. If you want to see more videos like this one, consider subscribing. If you like this video, press the like. And otherwise, I'll see you all in the next one. Vi ses.